every day and swears the daily dose of salt water is her secret to well-being. And I'd met Teddy in Peru, who hikes in the Andes Mountains on the regular, and told me that getting in touch with Pachamama, the goddess of nature or Earth Mother to the people of the Andes, is what keeps his spirit going. So I asked myself, how were they able to view health in such a non-commercial, more holistic way? Why couldn't I take a cue from them? Why did I think of wellness as such a commodity when it could be more about my values and the way I live my life? It was these questions that prompted me to write about the fundamentally backward commodification of wellness in the United States. This was one of those essays that just tumbled out of me one day, where I didn't even have to pause or procrastinate or refresh Twitter 8 million times to get the words out, because it was all so clear. I could not go on like this. I had to change. It seemed I had accidentally internalized the idea that self-care was synonymous with self-inflicted debt, but Zrinka and Teddy and countless others were all doing just fine without purifying Himalayan salt lamps. Why couldn't I do the same? My thoughts had resonated with people. Turns out I wasn't the only one fed up with the state of wellness in America today. People were tired of the industry's expensive products and classes, tired of their message that wellness and being well off go hand in hand. And I was fed up with the fact that I was professionally entwined with these implications. As the Wellness magazine's branded content editor, it was quite literally part of my job to sell those wellness products. You know those articles you read that say sponsored by or brought to you by at the top, and then seem to be regular stories except for a casual mention of a brand in the middle? I wrote those. I'm not throwing any shade at the actual magazine where I worked, because they're definitely out there fighting the good fight, sharing valid and inclusive information. But working there gave me a front row seat to how the wellness industry's vegan, gluten-free sausage is made. And the more I learned, the more frustrated I became. So when the sauce arrived, I began to hatch a plan. I wanted to show people that it's possible to be well without buying all things wellness. And I had a feeling I could do that by looking further afield for inspiration. After all, if there's one thing my time as a travel writer has taught me, it's that travel truly is the best teacher. This book is the result of months of travel all around the globe. During this time, I interviewed more than 100 people from various cultures and backgrounds and ethnicities about how they view healthy living. Now, a few caveats before we go any further. I know that it's impossible to capture the overall scope of a culture in just one trip, or ever, really. My findings are just that, my findings. Also, as a white upper-middle-class woman, I'd be remiss not to recognize how privileged I am to have been able to travel around the world by myself without being racially profiled or feeling scared or going broke. The majority of the hotels and destinations I visited hosted me because they knew I was writing a book, and for that, I am incredibly grateful. Not everyone has the ways and means to travel around the world, and I'm very aware that my profession enabled me to put myself in situations that are not accessible to everyone. I'm also aware of the colonialist undertones that emerge when a white woman brings back ideas from foreign countries. With 14 years of journalistic experience under my belt, the difference between cultural appreciation and cultural appropriation was top of mind during all of my reporting. Cultural studies professor and scholar Akil Houston, PhD, told me that one of the best ways for journalists to honor the cultures they're covering is to learn about and present the ideas within their proper historical context. And that's what I've done here, to the best of my ability. In that way, I treated my research as one of the greatest responsibilities and gifts of my life. In what I consider to be the most cosmic of cosmic timing, I traveled to Jamaica, Norway, Hawaii, Japan, India, and Brazil. Quite literally a solo circle around the world, in the months right before the COVID-19 pandemic brought travel to a halt. I know. The specific